Welcome back, folks. We sailed in September on the Westerdam of Holland America up to Alaska. We thought we'd share what was hot in Alaska, what was cold in Alaska, and tell you about the rolling seas.
Hi, I'm Ellen.
I'm Richard.
And we are
Venerable Voyagers.
Welcome aboard. So let's talk about what we thought was the hot. What was hot about this cruise?
The hot was, well, there's a few things. The Enrichment Talks, to me, were top notch. The cruise director, the naturalist, even the venue was nice and cozy, intimate, and so knowledgeable, which I'll include that with Port Talk. So where we were going to stop, they had somebody sharing with us what to expect, giving us background, a lot to learn. If you're someone that you like to learn a little bit and get educated, like me, that was a very good experience.
I have to give it to the naturalist, and I have to give it to our captain. Mm-hmm. I think out of all the ships that we've sailed on, this captain, he kept us informed of absolutely everything that was happening, gave us times of when we were going to be in places, tell us about a little maybe alternate route that we were going to take, and he was so personable too.
Well, just to share with you about the captain, we'll get into the rolling seas portion of this. We had some very, very rough seas, and he kept us informed. We knew that we were going to face nearly 30-foot seas, which is not common, but during that time of year, you could face some rough weather before. Captain, though, not only did he warn us about the seas, he says, hey, I know a little trick. I'm going to go hide behind this island a little bit out of the way, and it's going to protect us from those seas, at least for a little while, to give you a little bit more comfort. So kudos to him for knowing the route, knowing the area, and not being afraid to make a command decision to make the guests feel a lot more comfortable.
But we were definitely rolling that first night. Okay, so the next on our list, of our hot list.
Drinks package. Drinks package was good. When we sail with Holland America, we usually do the Have It All. This happened to be the level of Have It All that gave us drinks up to $11. If it was over that, we just had to pay the difference. But there was enough good that they did with their drinks, and the bartenders were great throughout, that we were able to stay within that $11 price range and not have to dip into the piggy bank.
And it followed you through your specialty dining.
Yes.
That was, we have since learned that other cruise lines don't do that. Ocean bartenders, is the Ocean bartender, thumbs up to you guys. That became our favorite bar of the ship. Mm-hmm. We were there several times every afternoon we were there, and they were the kindest, nicest servers. Were just so kind. But big thumbs up to that crew. Anytime
we were just wandering and trying to think of something to do, either before we get off ship, before we go to bed, before we go to a show, hey, let's go hang out in the Ocean's Bar. Those folks there were top notch, and they even after a day they learned what we like normally. Although I threw them because I would keep asking for different stuff. I like to sample things, but the thing that I really liked was bee's knees, and he'd come and say, "Oh, bee's knees, amaretto sour." He knew what we wanted most of the time. So
yeah, it was very easy to use. It was not difficult. It wasn't. You didn't have to look up their special menu. It was really well done. So next comes specialty dining. Oh wow! Oh wow! You go ahead and talk about the Pinnacle Grill.
Pinnacle Grill, that would be like the steakhouse specialty dining. On this ship, there was really only two specialty dinings. It's Canaletto, which is the Italian, and the Pinnacle Grill, which is more like your steakhouse. Pinnacle Grill, service was impeccable. They had a large group that came in near us. Managers and other folks that were higher up in the pecking order just jumped right in and helped. It was like everybody knew that they had a common goal and they did it.
Yeah, and the food was excellent. Food was so good there. You loved their candied bacon. Well, no, the hanging
It
bacon.
was clothesline
bacon,
My
sorry.
goodness. Yeah, clothesline bacon is fantastic.
And then we went to Canaletto, and I have to just, I'm going to gush here. The server and the manager of Canaletto were superior to anyone I've ever had service at any dinner that we've ever had. She was amazing. The manager would always come over too, make sure everything was fine. I was explaining to Richard something about how something was made because we were in an Italian restaurant, and she thought I was having an issue with the plate, with the dinner and the meal. And I'm like, no, it's fine, really. Everything is great. I'm just explaining to him. It's like, okay, well, if it's not right, just please let us know. I was like, it was so wonderful. It was a great evening. The meal was spectacular. And then you said you made a sidebar comment about your tiramisu,
Well, it was super relaxed for one.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like everybody was having to rush around, but they were there to help, whatever. Yeah, I mentioned how I like the tiramisu, and Italian desserts, that's one of my favorites, tiramisu.
Or Italian.
Yes, Italian desserts, I love tiramisu. And I think I was commenting something on it. She came right over and asked if I'd like another. Oh, sure. Another dessert. Dang. Twist my arm.
We had a lovely evening that night, and she just made it better, and so did the manager. They made it better, and just cannot recommend that enough on the Westerdam. It's well done. Really enjoyed that. Excursions is on your list.
Excursions, yeah. Went on 2. We went to Mendenhall Glacier up there at Juneau, and that was very nice. I mean, it amounted to a bus ride with a very knowledgeable bus driver, giving us a talk in the history of the area. Very interesting. Dropped us off so we could explore the glacier, take some pics, and so on. And then an assigned time where he would be back, and we would meet him, and he picked us up. He gave us some more great stories and great insight into the area and even himself on the way back. Dropped us off near the center of town where we could go one way or the other. And, that was excellent. The other one that we did was in Ketchikan. We did the Lumberjack Show. I think that's one that, if you haven't seen it, it's one of those just must do. Everybody that goes to Ketchikan has to go see the Lumberjack Show.
It was fun. It was just a fun experience, and they had get everybody that riled up and whooped up at 8 o'clock in the morning. They did a great job
In the cold and rain.
In the cold and rain. But one of the excursions we didn't go on, but we will highly, highly recommend, and we'll tell you why, was the Rapture Center in Sitka. They did an Enrichment Talk, and they brought in 2 individuals from the Rapture Center along with one of the animals.
Mm-hmm. It was a barn owl, basically. His name was Narwhal, who had been injured. He'd been nursed back to health, but he was not able to be rewilded because he had lost the ability of silent flight.
The purpose of the Rapture Center is to rehabilitate and then re-release the birds back into the wild. And Holland America is the only line that allows live animals to come on board while we're in port. And I just want to thank Holland America for that, because that was such an amazing hour that we spent with these 2 lovely ladies. They have such passion for their work. I will put a link in the description to the Rapture Center so you can learn more about it. But if you are on a cruise and Sitka is one of your ports, please really think seriously about going to the Rapture Center. You want to talk about the food?
Sure. Food was good. Every single day I have a kind of a cruise tradition is I have smoked salmon for breakfast, and if I can get it, I like a mimosa. I was able to get delicious smoked salmon every single day for breakfast. Yes. Now the main dining room, that was elevated. The service was great. I like a sit-down meal.
Really enjoying the dinners there. The dinners were The food, in my opinion, food was excellent.
Yeah.
And the service was great. Every meal that I had was really good. The ship itself is an older ship, but it had that lovely promenade on deck 3. And
you could pretty much walk all the way around the entire ship on the outside with it.
It was great to go out and have fresh air.
Yeah.
So now that just brings us, as you can tell, we really enjoyed our Alaska trip. There were some things that were just lacking. And
entertainment was a little bit on the lacking side. I think a lot of that was replaced with the port talks and the naturalists. There wasn't a whole lot of entertainment a lot of places on
there
the
was
ship.
like one every other night that they'd have a big type of performance thing. And unfortunately, the first night, I think we had reservations somewhere else. And then the second time it happened, I think we had reservations somewhere else. The Rolling Stone, the music was great.
Band was good, the music was good, the atmosphere seemed good. Just being the only venue like that on the ship, really, it was kind of crowded. I hung around the outside. I didn't even get a drink there.
So then that takes us to Crow's Nest.
Yeah, this is a venue that we really liked. It's, what was it, deck 10, I believe, and it was right near the front of the ship, all front and somewhat sideward facing windows, where you could see the ocean and where you're going. You know how on some cruise lines you hear the complaints about people saving deck chairs and hogging the deck chairs? Old Crow's Nest was, that was where that took place. All the seats were right by the window in front around. There was people that would come and they would get there early, they would camp themselves out, they would save them, or they would just stay in there all day long.
So it's kind of unfortunate, and but there in the Crow's Nest you also have the coffee bar and also a regular bar. I think our final thing for us that on this particular voyage was lacking was the amount of time we spent in port. It seemed very, very abbreviated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because we really wanted to spend a little bit more time. Like, I think had we spent a little bit more time in Juneau, we would have been able to see a little bit more of the town. We now know that there are excursions that we definitely want to do. This was our first time in Alaska, so we really didn't know what to expect. But I think on this particular voyage, it would have been nice. Like, we were in one, we got in about 7 and we left about 1 in the afternoon. Right?
Yeah, it was fairly quick. In fact, I think that might have been Sitka.
It was Sitka, I think it was. And then Victoria, well, that's a mandate that you have to go and stop at an international port. But
yeah, you have to stop in a foreign port before you can return to the United States. So Victoria was it. And I think we got there, I can't remember the exact time, but it was, yeah.
But all in all, the question comes, would you sail again?
Yes. Yes to Holland America. Yes to Westerdam.
And we already have booked one. We are about 2 weeks away, and join us. Watch us on Instagram, Venerable Voyagers. We are doing our very, very first transatlantic voyage from Fort Lauderdale, and then we end up in Rotterdam.
Oh, yeah.
But we enjoyed Holland America so much. We have gone up to the Pinnacle class, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be sailing on the New Staten Dam. We are so excited. We're excited to bring it to you. Please, again, follow us on Instagram because I will be posting every day that I can. But we're so excited to go back to Holland America. We're going to be able to tell you a little bit about, we're using their airfare to get back. We're doing something new. We are housed in Central Florida, so we are going to take the Brightline train from Orlando International Airport and take us down to Fort Lauderdale. So we're going to tell you about that too.
We'll share the transfer with you from Rotterdam to Amsterdam Airport.
True. So we enjoyed ourselves so much on this Alaska trip that we have already booked. We're booked. We're ready to go in 14 days. So yeah, Holland America, I think, love this voyage so much. It was unexpected. It was a last minute decision for us to go in September.
Yep.
And I'm so glad we did, because I wasn't disappointed at all. So with that, I'm Ellen.
I'm Richard.
We are.
The Venerable Voyagers.
And until next time.
Hey, like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Yeah, and please comment. Let us know if you've taken, you have any comments, because remember, this was our experience. So if you've had a different experience, or you want to tout an experience you had on another Holland America cruise, please let us know. Talk to us in the comments, because we'd love to hear your opinion. With that, thank you guys for joining us. Have a great day.